So I studied my 11th, 12th standard in the tents.
You were living in the tent?
Tents. So
because you left your home back in...
We didn't have anything. Sujit, we didn't have anything. So every day eating bread was also a question mark. So I started telecalling, cold calling to people, printing industry. The moment, हाँ कौन बोल रहा है? Yeah, I'm calling from Xerox. हमको कॉपियर नहीं चाहिए. नहीं चाहिए. तो क्या चाहिए? Meenakshi, while we were going and penalizing stores, that आप plastic नहीं use करो, you don't do this, you don't. So this humble question was that ये नहीं use करना तो ये क्या use करना?
क्या use करना?
The first lady in the history of Times of India to be appointed in production department.
I think it would be the first lady in the history of India. I don't know of anyone else in that.
My mother used to take care of my daughter. She was just 1 month old. And I used to come every 15 minutes after every hour. So 3 hours paper में मैं 2 बार बाहर आती थी उसको feed करने के लिए. So the biggest thing what a woman always feels, I don't have a growth in print industry, which is not right.
Before moving ahead, would like to bring your attention on a wonderful new product, a reusable notebook from NARA. It's a 100% tree-free, waterproof and tear-proof notebook which can be used endlessly for years together. I think it's a great step towards a sustainable future and a new step in note-taking. I have been personally using this notebook and have been able to save 6 to 8 pages every day. If you are interested in knowing more about this product, the link for the product is in the description below. Hi Meenakshi, welcome to eStories. I was just telling you that it's been 10 years that we've met, though we've been in touch over WhatsApp and phone. Your name came recently when we had another guest of ours, Madhura Mahajan, ma'am from PVG, who was the guest at eStories, and I was asking her who are the names from PVG that she remembers. So one name that very explicitly stood out was Meenakshi. And both are very dost hai. I mean, yeah, Meenakshi. So then I just kind of went a little deeper and realized that you're one of the very few women who has been in the printing industry and has been there for so long and successful at it. So we are here covering your story. Are you all set?
All set, Sujit. So thank you for getting me here. It's been a pleasure, and not because I'm here for the show, but I love to talk about women in printing industry. Not because I'm a woman myself, but I feel the upcoming breed should know that there is a career in printing, which I think that's lost somewhere.
True.
Probably because of 2-3 reasons. One, women always feel it's a production-oriented career, which they feel maybe long hour working, night hour working, and all that. Few women feel that they can't sustain it. And third, the most I think relevant reasoning is it's a men-oriented field. Whether they can survive, they can take it well, they can. So there are a lot of I think those syndromes which go around. When I talk to few women colleagues or upcoming breeders. So my journey is actually I would say very exciting.
I'm sure.
Very encouraging for not only for the print industry but also for the women across.
True.
Who aspire to do something in the print industry.
In fact, after listening to a story before we started, I feel it would be inspiring to each and everyone who wants to build a career in terms of how you should be solution selling your products and create markets, create industries.
So I was, as we spoke, Sujit, before this conversation, the official conversation which we were doing. When I started my career, actually, just to give you a little bit of a background so that it puts it in the right perspective.
Yes, please.
I hail from Kashmir, so not many people know that I'm a Kashmiri. Because,
even I didn't know that till today.
But I hail from Kashmir, so my beginning of life has been humble and very tough.
I'm sure it was.
I don't say always that I'm a migrant, I'm a Kashmiri migrant. I always say that we are thrown out of Kashmir in a night. So my childhood was not a great story to really narrate, but when we left Kashmir, when I was in the 10th standard, I really did not know what next. Whether I would study, I would make my career, what was always coming to my mind that I should be able to.
Just to give a perspective, you're talking about which year for our audience?
89.
89. So that was during the heights of militancy.
Heights of militancy. Heights. Okay. The Kashmir files which people see now and they feel.
You lived it.
So I've lived it. So my good friend Ajay Ravrani, so when he saw the movie, he called me. He said, "Meenakshi, now I can understand what you were telling us." But then it was not a great childhood people talk about. But what it has put my life into, let me put it in the perspective, is that one that triggered to do something for myself and my family. Was the only thing which I was thinking that moment of time. I didn't know that I will do printing engineering, I'll do something. My father was always, because we are a completely traditional orthodox background. But yes, my father always built me like a son. He always felt that I am different because maybe my passion, my commitment was little like a son. Though I am blessed with my younger brother also. He was also in the print industry. So we moved out of Kashmir, we went to Jammu. Didn't know what is to be done because government was not sure of what we were doing. Then we went to the tent in Jammu, so I studied my 11th, 12th standard in the tents.
You were living in the tents.
So very
because you left your home back in.
We didn't have anything. Sujit, we didn't have anything. So every day eating bread was also a question mark. Okay. Then fortunately, Maharashtra government, because of Mr. Thackeray.
Balasaheb Thackeray.
Yeah, Balasaheb Thackeray, he had given seats to some aspirant students. So I got through printing engineering. Actually, I didn't know that I'm going to do printing engineering. It's an interesting story, by the way. Okay, we were asked to choose streams. I had, I think, a rank of 12 or 13 in the whole Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir. So I was in the 12th rank. My father thought, if I take a first choice as electronics or computer, I will never get it because I am in a 12th rank. So all the 12 students will get it. So he deliberately put printing industry as my first choice. I didn't know he had put, so we were not allowed to question father. So whatever was done was like, yes, you accepted, yes, I accepted.
Destiny was meant that you had to come to the printing industry.
So when I saw my list there, I said, wow, I don't know, I am not going to do this because I was being told by my relatives that you please go in for electronics and computer. So my father, I think he was a visionary. So I lost him last year, but he was a visionary. So he said, see, if you do electronics, if you do computer, there'll be a lot of people who will come out and you will not understand currents, this going. Printing, you understand printing. Something is printing right now. It's fun.
That is how he explained it to you.
He explained and he was trying to convince me. So anyways, I had no choice. So I went to the college. PVG, College of Engineering and Technology. A great institution. Not only because of the curriculum. I think the gurus, the mentors we had there were phenomenally connected, knowledgeable people. So they did not make printing engineers, they made people.
Oh, nice.
So especially the credit goes to Professor Baba Kulkarni. So he made me, the first entrance in the college was Mr. Baba Kulkarni. So my father explained. So I was crying, I was profusely crying that I don't want to be in this stream. So he said, don't worry, I will change your stream next year. You perform well, we'll change your stream. But you be here now, so don't.
Kulkarni sir is
Kulkarni sir. So I said, okay. And then he's selling this branch to me. He's telling me, you know, Meenakshi, this year we got every student, so there were 27 students in the BE finals. Every student has 4 to 5 jobs in hand. So you are blessed. Anyways, I thought, okay, let me take it with a spice. So I continued. So every year, so next year he asked me whether you want to change the stream. But then what I felt that during that year, one is that there were not very lots of girls. We are only 4 girls in that batch.
Okay.
I thought it would be a unique thing to do. Second is that I was looking at the campus interviews happening. So electronics, all the branches never got a job opportunity. So they were still hunting for the job. So there were a lot of people who were coming to campus hunting for people. And as I said, I was telling you about my background. So I was really in need of something to start my career.
Support your family.
Support my family. So I think that was the only spark for me to continue printing industry. To be very frank with you, I'm being very candid.
You thought that you could get a job easily.
Easily, because I was definitely, I did
Competition come hai.
Competition come hai, plus I think there was a lot of opportunity for print people to come in.
Correct.
And this was the only college that moment of time.
That time, yes.
So electronics, computer के तो बहुत सारे colleges, so people
और competition में बहुत इतने सारे जन हैं.
So I thought let me stay because the only I'm telling you the only inspiration was job. That I'll get a job. So in the final year, fortunately, Times of India came in to the campus. It was then after 3 years they came to campus to recruit people. So that moment of time, all other companies were offering stipend of 3,500 rupees. I still distinctly remember it. They were the only company who were willing to pay 7,500. So, like I had,
you wanted
it was that this is the only company. I had a few jobs in, and I said I'll abandon everybody and I will just do this without being sure that whether I will qualify. But the point I want to reinforce here is that the focus that I needed and the determination that I needed for whatever good reasons. So there were quite a lot of interview rounds that happened, and every round I qualified. Now the final round, which was at the VT, that main Times of India office, so they were all the board of directors, so they called in for a few people who were filtered to that next round, and they had to only take 3 candidates for all India. So I was called in, so they said, when they saw me, they said, oh, we don't take girls. I said, okay, why? What's the reason? And they said, no, it's a production environment. Did not somebody tell you that it's a production? I said, I know everything. I'm sitting here after clearing 3-4 rounds of interviews. I need to understand why is girl a problem. Is it that you don't like girls, or you feel that I can't do the job? I need to know. And so Mr. Sen, I don't know whether you know Mr. Parinder Sen, he was the production director. So he asked me a very blunt question. He said, Meenakshi, why do you think we should hire you? To be very frank with you, Sujit, I didn't know the right answer. I said, one, I'm committed. Second, if you don't hire me, you're losing a good candidate. Confidence.
That's the confidence you had.
You're losing a good candidate. I said, wow. Without even being... So I said, I need this job because so there were a lot of discussions, and finally I got selected.
Lovely.
The first lady in the history of Times of India to be appointed in production department.
I think it would be the first lady in the history of India. I don't know of anyone else in that point of time.
I had privilege to launch Bombay Times in color. So I launched Bombay Times. So I take those feather in my cap. So
Lovely.
Bombay Times, Times of India in color.
Wow.
As I was telling you, I used to reach Kandivali office at 7 o'clock in the morning because that's what the first shift starts. I used to be there till 3 o'clock midnight.
Oh.
Ensuring that whatever I have done during the day, it is just coming right. We don't miss deadlines, we don't miss color, because I was also given a project by Mr. Sen to do the dot gain management. So I knew exactly what I have done. So I did not want people to goof up my work.
That was the commitment towards the work.
That was the commitment to the work. But then I thought, no, I should really ensure that I just do my deliverables right. The question is that if you're committed, you know exactly what is your deliverable. And if you really want to own it, the ownership is what is more important, more than a job. So what people I see, I'm not saying that generally, it's a general statement though, but I think what we lack sometimes is the ownership. You are an entrepreneur, Sujit, so you would do everything what makes it happen.
True.
Okay, if you treat like a job, then you're done with the 9 to 6
basics,
9 to 6 job.
Yeah.
Okay, so then if you are wanting to grow big, I don't think so you are on a right path. You are taking those right steps to become big.
Correct. You have to have an entrepreneurial mindset.
You have to have the entrepreneurial mindset. The reason also for that is I have a team right now, Sujit, okay, who works helps me, assists me. Now, if I delegate them some work, okay, there'll be all the reasons for saying no.
Correct.
This will go wrong. So So my approach is always that I don't delegate unless I do it myself. Because I know exactly this is the problem, this is how I'm going to solve it, and this is the solution. Now things cannot go wrong. Maybe your approach to work may be different, but that will lead to the same success mantra. So if you are an entrepreneur, you have done it yourself. So people can't, I'm not saying people cannot tell you, but you have your own apprehensions that why this is the right thing to do.
Correct.
So that I spent 5 years with Times of India. It was a long journey, but very encouraging journey. Very I would say whatever I am today is because of the basics that was being set in Times of India.
I'm sure.
Because when you interact with people, they know you, they teach you, and when you're humble, what most of the times we as individuals or professionals feel that I have achieved it, so I can't. But I always feel that I still have a lot of growth or learning process. So I'm always being humble. So even if I talk to you, Sujit, I always seek your guidance. Not that I don't know, but I just want to cross check my thought process. That whether I'm thinking right, whether he adds something to more what I know.
Correct.
So that's been my approach rather. So in Times of India, I really, I think a keen learner.
Nice.
And during the day when I was actually doing my after concluding my pre-press work, because then there is a lot of patent laking and all that. So I used to go to each and every department to understand what are their challenges.
Sure.
Because I just wanted to streamline this whole process. And
you want to, it seems more to me that you wanted to get as much as you can learn.
As much as I can. Because also to give that ease to people to operate.
Correct.
Because the more I set up challenges for them, it was becoming more difficult for me since the morning. So that approach of going and understanding what they do, where do they find problems, how can I really help them?
Solve their problems.
What do I need? Because pre-press was the start.
True.
The editorial was a start. So I used to guide editorial team that please don't do this way. So we'll do this way. It will really enhance our capability, efficiency. So that really helped me. As I see now, if I reflect back on my career, I've evolved through a lot of roles.
So Times, how many years?
5 years.
Okay. And then after Times?
After Times, a very short stint with Yabasu Graphics.
Okay.
With Mr. Himanshu Desai. He was the owner of the Yabasu Graphics. Great organization again to work for. Because as I told, I was a production lady. So like people call Iron Man. So I was a production lady. So I never knew how to sell, how to front end a customer, or how to be on the front chair, sitting with customer, negotiating and discussing. So when I left Times of India, and Times of India leaving was also I think a painful decision for me, because I really loved being there, the way they pampered me, the way I was being given a growth, opportunities, everything whatever a person can ask for in the professional career is what I got there.
I'm sure.
So leaving that was also more of a personal reasoning, because I wanted to very difficult, because the night commitments, and I'm little committed to my job. So I thought I will not be able to survive this production career for a long time, because now I could understand that once you get married, being a lady, I'm not saying that every lady does it, but yes, I think now the time is that even men does a lot of compromises, because both men and women are working now. So I decided I have to have a career where I can balance my strike, what people call as work-life balance. So then I joined Mr. Himanshu Desai as in Yabasu Graphics. So he gave me opportunity to sell the print solutions to the industry. So what I realized, Sujit, when I was going and meeting up customers, it was a new beginning for me in my career, is that people are able to relate to what I am saying, because I had worked in the production environment.
You had faced the problems.
I had faced the problems. So that's why I was actually vouching for people and to help me. So I could do fairly, I would say, justice to the role. Then in between, while I was working for Yabasu Graphics, Xerox Corporation approached me for selling their very high-end printers in the market in the year 2002.
What was the price point of those printers at that point in time?
If I tell you, you will have a hearty laugh. So in 2002, I was supposed to be selling a product worth 1 crore.
1 crore?
In Indian rupees.
And what was the other machines selling at that point in time?
There was no competition for me, to be very frank with you, in my category of the products which I was asked to sell. My competition, the top of the mind competition was Canon, Epson, selling 3 lakh, 7 lakh printers.
And you were supposed to sell a 1 crore printer?
I was supposed to sell a 1 crore.
Any printer was sold before that, before you joined?
No, nothing.
Oh.
So they were struggling in the market to sell these printers. So I don't know who told them that. There is a person who can be who can have a magic wand and then
she can wave the magic wand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Xerox is
when I
going to
joined
make
in,
history.
when I joined in the month of May, I distinctly remember 2nd of May. So they gave me a target. I said, I'm looking at those crores, lakhs, zeros going above my head. I thought, Bapre, what's so great about this product? And trust me, Sujit, when they hired me, though they told me it's a high-end printer, but मैंने सोचा जब कुछ भी बिक सकता है तो ये भी तो बिक ही सकेगा. What is so great shucks about it? So I blindly joined. I would say that it was a major risk of my career, but then I thought it's worth it, okay? Because one, Xerox, I knew it's a great organization, sales organization. So joined them. So they gave me a target. I really did not know what, how, when. So I started telecalling, cold calling to people, printing industry. The moment, हाँ कौन बोल रहा है? Yeah, I'm calling from Xerox. हमको copier नहीं चाहिए. नहीं चाहिए. तो क्या चाहिए? So I then through some industry colleagues who knew me from old days, so I got connected to few people who could hear me. So the problem, I think the biggest problem I had with Xerox Corporation when I joined in was that mindset change. That Xerox can also do beyond copiers.
Correct.
And they have a solution.
Correct.
So I just needed one hearing. So I was actually dying to have that one hearing. That please hear me. So that hearing was getting actually
कोई सुनने को तैयार नहीं था because
नहीं पटकते थे. We don't need copier. So the second conversation never started actually, that I have a product which I can want to.
So where did you get your first?
So the first break was where I was actually going in the market. I was literally as a sales, you have Eureka Phobe as a company, so I used to bag leke samples 2-3 keeping and then showing to Sujit sir, can you have yeah, what is the price? 1 crore. Are you mad? Okay. So whenever we have a requirement, so the first breakthrough which I had in Xerox was with the utility packaging with Mr. Manoj Mehta. Manoj Bhai. I would say he was, in those days, he was a great, so we met up. In that, I think it was a 2-3 hour long meeting. We almost, I think we did everything, maths, we did everything. And to be very frank with you, I was not sure whether he understood what I'm trying to sell. To be very frank with you, and I tell this him often. Manoj bhai, wo deal yaad hai. So then he said, I am done. He gave me some token check, if I recollect properly. And this is my price. You sell it to me at this price. I said, hoga hi nahi, this is not the price. He said, no, you think and come back to me. So did a lot of internal whatever we could, because I fairly knew that he's the customer who is going to actually
open the doors
for us. So that happened actually. So he really did a great, phenomenal work on this machine. And the biggest thing I think he had was the connect with the industry.
Yes.
That was one. Second
was a big name.
So he was a big name that those days, in fact.
Yes.
So Manoj by touching something was something big for us. Then there was no look back, Sujit. There was no look back.
So that's how Xerox got its entry into India.
Absolutely. And you know, Sujit, that year we were only supposed to sell one machine. So in December I sold 3. Then in next year I sold some 10 to 12 machines.
Wow.
Which was out of the, I think, out of the arena of Xerox Corporation.
उन्होंने भी सोचा नहीं होगा इतना बिक
So the
जाएगा,
MD
वो भी
came
इंडिया में.
India, he came to India, and
अच्छा.
he's literally coming and touching my feet. That what did you do? We want to know what did you do.
अच्छा.
But I, to be very frank with you, I did not do something different. I think in the high value sales, you don't have to sell. That's what mistake we normally typically do. So it was more of a consultation. So Manoj bhai was asking me all the questions. ये हो सकता है क्या? मैं बोला नहीं, ये नहीं होगा. नहीं, आपने तो बोला, मैंने बोला होगा किसी ने, that's a sales. I am not selling you. I am giving you the right advice. So if that is the application, it will not sell. It will not work. So I think what he liked about the sales pitch was more transparent approach, being candid of what can happen and what cannot happen. So eventually when everybody started calling me for machine sales, so my question was not that, because good thing about I think print industry in India is that we all entrepreneurs have lot of money, they want to innovate, they want to be ahead of the curve, which typically you would not find in European countries. So there's always a minuscule risk that they don't want to take. But then in India, if you see, since you are associated with us, so people want to do something different. So they want to be ahead of the curve, they want to do something different. So there were a lot of people, segments calling up and saying that we want a similar kind of machine. So I always gave them a very candid suggestion, I would, that it will not work for your application. If you find some other application, but it will not work.
Work for this application. That's how you could break into
I could break
customers.
into different segments, different customers, different applications.
Lovely.
So the growth was not because the multiplication of the customer. The growth was different segments being opened up.
एक्चुअली वही तो चाहिए ना, जब आप कोई कस्टमर कोई मशीन खरीद रहा है, उसको तो मैं ये इसके मशीन का करूँ क्या, मैं इसके अंदर क्या क्या प्रोडक्ट बनवाऊँ.
अब लेता था कोई मशीन हमसे, thinking that Sujit was successful, I'll be also successful. So initially I think the contact point was just because Sujit is successful.
Correct.
But then after 1 year of my journey with the selling, overselling, I would say overselling, it was being oversold in the market.
ज़्यादा मशीन आ गए.
So every second customer was calling, आपने इसको भी बेच दिया? मैं बोला हाँ, yes. आपने तो बोला था मैं नहीं किसी को बेचूंगी. मैंने बोला अगर आप मुझे कमिटमेंट देते, मतलब एंड लाइक पीपल यूज्ड टू हैव अ हार्टी लव दैट. मैंने बोला मैंने आपको पूछा था will you buy again? You said let me be successful. So I have a commitment to the organization. So if you give me repeat orders and commit me orders, I will not go and sell to somebody else. I want to grow the market to help you. And why do you think Sujit is your competition? Why can't you think that both of you are growing this market? It's an immense market, untouched, virgin market.
Correct.
So if you both work, the market will eventually grow.
Correct.
So why are you thinking that Sujit is your competition? Why can't you go to different segments? I will help you to go to different segments. So eventually I told you we oversold in the Indian market. So every second customer, आप इसको नहीं बेचोगे, he is breaking the price. So after 1 year, I really thought that if I continue doing this oversell, it's not going to be helping anybody, neither Sujit, neither me, neither somebody, neither Xerox. So I was little upfront. I told management that let's do something different. Let's now help build page volumes. So I took that, I would not say risk, but then I thought let me do something different to help my customers. So I went to the all end customers of theirs. Okay, like for an example, your customer is Jet Airways. So I went to Jet Airways, met up with the brand guys. So typically we were meeting brand guys and telling them that how does digital help their brand. So we really did phenomenal job on that piece of business development, I would say, in those days.
Okay. I created new market opportunities.
New market opportunities. I'm sure, I don't know, I'm not saying, but the Hutch one-to-one personalized calendars were printed on our machine. That was the concept that was being sold by us to the brand owners.
Nice.
Then we did a phenomenal campaign with Manoj Bhai on with Standard Chartered Bank, printing their variable data printing bills.
Okay.
The bill which used to cost them 20 paisa, 30 paisa, we sold them for 12 rupees. that selling, that value proposition really got into my blood then. So it
That's
was
how
like that's how
the
it
early
started.
days of business development.
Absolutely, and more from the customer centric point of view, that I should make my customer successful.
Correct.
Because it was not only selling the machine, it was also establishing your credibility in the market.
True,
because
true.
if you are credible, people will vouch for you.
True.
So did all kinds of roles in Xerox, anything people can think of, business development, marketing. So we used to have stalls, we used to run like crazy shows at, so just trying to propagate it. So enough done with the Xerox, then I got an opportunity to work for Hewlett-Packard to sell
HP,
very
Indigo,
high
yeah.
Indigo presses. So I would say it was an easy thing to do.
After doing Xerox.
After doing Xerox. Because I didn't have to open the door. I knew fairly that he is my customer. It's just that I need to sit with him for some time. But sometimes it was difficult that selling now competition. So though it was not a competition, because Xerox was a different technology and it was a thoughtful decision to join HP. I don't feel it's right to join competition, but then it was never a competition. So helping customers again, that how this builds different business module for them is what really I liked about HP Indigo, and then we set up various segments there. So was there with Hewlett-Packard.
Making HP Indigo successful in India in itself is a great thing.
It's okay.
Because it's not high-end machine. Xerox, yes, at once here,
It was.
but HP Indigo was like taking the notch even higher at 3-4 crores.
And that too, Sujit, in those days. When I really compare both these brands, Xerox had a service setup, and what digital technology needs as a technology is not a great salespeople.
Correct.
Is the service people. So the success of Xerox was not only sales, was the the service team. Absolutely brilliant service team. So we didn't have that in HP Indigo when I joined. So when I said, okay, where is the service team? 1-2 people.
Shayad Reddington.
Reddington. So okay, so building that confidence with the customers, that kuch nahi hoga machine ko, everything is fine, it's a high build machine, but digital is digital. But then we still, I think we built up the business very well. We established everything what was required to be set up. So 6.5 years, wonderful journey with HP Indigo. Unlearned a lot of things. Okay. Then I was fairly done with print industry. I thought, ab kya karoon? Abhi to I am done. What will I do next? Then fortunately, Reliance Retail opportunity came in with Mukesh Bhai. So I was supposed to be selling a value proposition in the market, setting up that business for them. So my job was to get service authorization from all the big brands, and we become host to post.
So Reliance Retail takes service authorization from brands.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have set up that business for them. So going to brands. So when I went, I still remember I had just joined in, and in first 15 days I was supposed to go and meet the CEO of Samsung to tell them that we want your service authorization. Trust me, Sujit, I had no idea of what I'm going to ask for. I had no idea. But I was being asked, my tickets were booked and sent on my desk, you have to meet up with him. So whole flight for 2 hours, I'm just thinking that what do I tell him?
Achha.
So I just went, I said, this is me, this is what we are doing, and this is... So he said, okay, now what do you want? I said, and I think the biggest thing what played in the favor of this new business was the brand name of Mukesh Bhai. So of course we know he is the man in India. So that was the push. So I said, we will do this for you, we have committed, So he said, okay, what are you asking for? Because I had done my maths. I said, you're paying to your service centers. So the per call rate to a service center was, those days, 300 rupees per call. So I had done my maths after thinking of what I need to do. So I said, I'm asking for a per call of 1200 rupees. He said, are you crazy? 300 to 1200? So what I was thinking the whole flight is that...
And he might be thinking that Reliance is the sasta hoga. You're asking for 4 times more.
So what I was thinking the whole flight is that what do I tell him different?
So
what do I tell him different? I said, okay, so I did all the maths, whatever I could think in my mind. I said, okay, I know I'm asking you for the price, but what are you striving in India? what are you wanting to establish? I said, of course, if I was you, I would always think of a customer delight. Okay, how do you delight your customers? Because every brand is there. LG is equally doing good. This guy is doing this. So how do you bring that delight to Meenakshi? Now, if you tell me that you bought a product, you bought a mobile phone, and it turned to be there was some problem in 7 days, 10 days, 1 month, 1 year, 2 year. You ask me go to service center. Now service center is in somewhere in Tamil Nadu, so I have to travel to Tamil Nadu. Then this guy gives me lot of so where is the invoice copy? So I'm telling you that I take the complete ownership of your product with the customer for till the end of the life.
Okay.
So the customer comes to us.
Okay.
He drops in the mobile saying, gives me a bill that it's been bought from you. I get this. I go take this product to your service center, your authorized service center. Ask them to repair it at my cost, and get it back. And call up Sujit that your mobile is done. Should I drop it at your home, or will you come to the store on your way back to your home?
Oh.
So that was like, wow.
Oh.
I said,
Actually,
nobody
wow.
has done it. So then the back end work. So when I presented this as a business case within the organization, so they said it's impossible. How will you do it? So there were a lot of ifs and buts, that if Sujit's phone go to Meenakshi's place, Meenakshi's goes to Sujit's place, it will create a further havoc. I said, I'll do that back end work. I'll connect people, and there's technology available. So I connected with ProConnect guys. So a lot of back end work which I thought it's worthwhile to spend. But then it was really a value proposition for the customer. So we created a lot of story around it, so people were feeling delighted. It was a customer delight.
I'm sure. I mean, it sounds so good.
It was just purely a customer delight, which we were trying to work as a differentiator. So had a good journey with Reliance Retail. In fact, I was instrumental in doing the Jio SIM cards there. So I launched Jio SIM cards. 4 years, enough of retail. So somewhere the print industry was calling me because still connects with the print industry. Aap kidhar ho? I said, what you are doing in Reliance? I said, no, but then this Huhtamaki came as a good break for me, packaging. So I stay in Thane, in Mumbai. So office is in Majhiwada. Office was in Majhiwada rather, Huhtamaki. They called me because they had bought in the HP Indigo digital press to build their packaging business. So because while people say that digital hai, ye hai, conventional, there is no. The difference is only in selling.
Selling, yeah.
It's just that how you sell.
कोई भी machine लो, how are you going to communicate to the customer? So
it was stuck there. They were not doing well on that machine, and they wanted to build up. So somebody had recommended that she was doing this job. Okay, I don't know whether she can do this again.
She has a magic wand. Xerox deals.
I joined them. I started this business right from scratch, and in 1.5 years I built this business to 2 crores of revenue every month. So which was really a phenomenal. So going to each brand, Sujit, what was different and what customers appreciated for me as an individual. I'm being a little gaga about my achievement here.
You should be.
Okay,
no
is
reason
that
you should not.
Huhtamaki as an organization, we are very good as account managers. We are very good. So we have few accounts which we serve year long. Okay, आपने phone किया, मैंने माल बेच दिया and all that. This was like you have to go and hunt and tell. So when I started initially going to customers based on my colleagues connect, they said first time we are seeing somebody from Huhtamaki coming and selling, and you really wanting to have that difference for us. So went all but so we did a lot of campaigns in fact during COVID when nobody was working, I had the highest sale ever in digital printing.
Lovely.
I sold the concepts on COVID. So when everybody was struggling कि क्या धंधा करेंगे, so I reached out to Dettol. I said, why don't we do a campaign, because you guys are doing fairly well and you have COVID warriors, why don't you make them feel better that you did a phenomenal. So how do you reward them? One is that you pay them For some people, money is not a motivation, is recognition.
Correct.
And that too in those difficult times.
Correct.
So we printed those COVID warriors, different. So Sujit as a COVID warrior, Meenakshi is a COVID warrior. It was a feel good factor. I would not say that it was a...
True. It makes so much more of a difference.
More. So one is that the brand name, the brand recall of being different in those difficult times is what I always feel that every organization should make a difference to what they offer. Besides a cup or a pouch or a label. So I spent 2 years with 2.5 years rather with digital printing and flexibles. So really turned around that business completely.
Lovely.
So established it from getting the people, right from starting, doing this cold calls again. Then I got an opportunity to serve food services in India. I am sure people really don't know about food services of Huhtamaki as a division. Huhtamaki as a group has 3 segments. One is flexibles. That's where we sell pouches.
Where you were there earlier.
So almost we capture 85% of the market share right now.
Wow.
And second division is food services, which was acquired as a company. So Huhtamaki acquired Wellpack in India to start this business in India. And it was done just before COVID, sometime back before COVID. So the only intent to come to India with Huhtamaki brand in food services was to serve Starbucks as a customer. And we were just doing Starbucks, done with Starbucks. So people were leaving happily, washing their hands and go. They said, what's happening?
आपने आके काम पे लगा दिया सबको.
So what's happening? So people are going. So then we started hunting out people, watching out basically. So right now, I can proudly say that we are doing very well in India. So
very nice.
We are with most of the global brands with the top quality and service, and whatever was right for the business is what we tried to really put in the basket. So when I was setting up the framework for what do we do differently here. So one was definitely when I took over this business is let me give that this delight, because this delight is always there when I think about it. Because customer. Why people struggle for sales, any organization, is because either people don't perceive that as a value from the brand, or there is no delight. Okay, now it's Sujit or it's somebody, it's okay.
How does it matter?
Maybe Sujit too will come in tomorrow. So that the whole difference that I always felt in my life is if you create that differentiation. And differentiation has to be really which is unique. So while I set up this customers because people were complaining about supplies, people were no response, so I made people committed. I made them own their jobs. Nice. I said, you got to own this piece. Okay, I can't own your piece. So doing that. Second is that 1 year we set up it well. So I could see that people want to work with us now. I could clearly see that there's a lot of, and food is growing in India. So let's not mince the words that it is a growing industry. There's dearth of opportunities. There's a lot of innovation that we can do because still it's a virgin market. Okay? When I meet people, when I meet customers, I think we have a lot of, and Huhtamaki being a 100-year-old company in innovations, so we have lots to get out to the market, which people really don't know about. So, but it was important to get the confidence of people, of the industry. So that's what I tried to do in 1 year. This year I started with a new initiative, which is very unique to India, which is very unique to Huhtamaki, I would say.
What is it?
I have started an initiative of doing the circular economy, that's cup composting. So whatever we sell to the brands, you name it, the QSR, the quick service industry, we pick up the cups and get it to the composting ground.
Wow.
And then from composting, we are expected to get a soil in 60 days, which we are monitoring right now under controlled environment, and it needs a little bit of a science which we know, which people know about. Okay, I don't know that business.
I'm sure. It's okay. You don't have to know.
So I don't have to know everything. So I put people on the job. So they tell me that it's coming up. So we will sell this soil to all the pulp manufacturers, so that they reinvest, harvest or make trees out of it.
Nice.
So this is very unique. So when I
First time in India?
First time in India. So I was with I was telling you, I was with Gujarat Control Board yesterday. So all the ministers really appreciated this piece of work, because while everybody talks about sustainability as a big agenda, but I don't know how many people work on this piece of agenda.
Yeah, correct.
So
I think the awareness in that space is also very limited.
Not only awareness, education.
Correct.
Like the best part of this yesterday's conversation or the seminar was, what I liked about this conversation was that, Meenakshi, while we were going and penalizing stores that आप plastic नहीं use करो, you don't do this, you don't. So this humble question was that ये नहीं use करना तो ये क्या use करना?
क्या use करना?
Tell me what is to be used.
Correct.
बोला we don't know, and I'm sure you don't know about the cup industry as such. So we have a polyethylene lining, which is required, because unless you have that polyethylene coating lining on the cup, you can't seal the cup. So the question last year when this SUP ban, single-use plastic ban came in, so people were asking me, these officials, why do you need a lining? You just make a paper cup. I said, we can't do that. That's not not the technology. So yesterday I could really relate that why it is required. So this education, I think somebody has to take that. The good question today morning why management asked me is that business kitna aayega? I said I don't know, but let me tell you that this initiative, or yesterday what I did, was not to get business. Somebody has to take that bigger jump in the market.
Correct.
To do different.
Correct.
Okay, and to educate.
Create
because
awareness.
What we can do at this, I think Sujit, you, me, and all the stalwarts on the industry is give back of what you have learned, unlearned.
Correct.
Okay, because that's what is required. Because there's no point reinventing the wheel.
Correct.
If you know something, so give it back.
Correct.
It helps.
Correct.
Because I think what we Indians, and I'm very proud about it. So in one of the seminars, somebody asked me, I think it was out of India. So the question was, because I was the only Indian, you do jugads. Indians are known to do jugads. And I was not offended. I said, we do jugads. But I think that's the mother of innovation.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where innovation starts.
That's where the innovation starts. And we have that risk-taking capability.
Correct.
The right risk.
Correct.
So
Meenakshi, on this point, I just want to add one. So we had a guest earlier, Mr. Datta Deshpande. He makes these folding machines for the pharma industry. So he was mentioning, he sells machines to the US. He has an office in the US. He says, अगर US में मेरा machine है, अगर कुछ problem आया, the operator will just leave the machine and he will tell the supervisor, oh, sorry, it is not working. In India, he will not go to the management. He will solve the problem himself. And he will not even tell. He will not even take credit. Because it's a part of life.
Exactly, that's what we think always.
Yeah.
That's why we are very different.
We don't want to go and tell someone and solve the problem. हम खुद करेंगे.
Either हम लोगों को problem ये भी हो सकती है as an individual, or I think like as an Indian, हमको शर्म आती है बोलने में कि हमको समझता नहीं है. Which I always feel.
That also could be a cultural thing.
And you know when this is a real example. So we had some delegates from outside of India. So they came to our plant. So I briefed my people that how do we conduct. So because there's a lot of तो मैंने अपने बंधु में अगर वो क्वेश्चन पूछेंगे ना कब कैसे बनता है या मतलब एक्सप्लेन प्रॉपरली. ओके, सो दिस इज व्हाट यू शुड एक्सप्लेन. सो वो जब आया ना, उसने अंग्रेजी में एक सवाल पूछ लिया, इसको तो अपना हिंदी भूल गया. आई वाज सो फ्रस्ट्रेटेड. आई सेड व्हाट हैपेंड. अरे मैं घबरा गया. मैंने बोला घबराने का जरूरत नहीं था. यू आर डूइंग द राइट थिंग.
करेक्ट.
व्हाई यू डोंट हैव टू बी शाय अबाउट व्हाट यू डूइंग. Just be confident, because I think we deserve much more than what we are.
It will happen. I think the government is doing a great job at the top level. I think
we are recognized.
We are being recognized. Yeah.
Sujit, the same initiative, when I was talking to my people that I want to do this, India is in a nascent stage. Food is not. So a lot of things of what can go wrong.
Yeah.
Now when I talk about it, like when I was here with you some time back, so there was a call. So he was like, Meenakshi, just we don't have words.
Yeah, just go ahead and do it.
Just do it. What
India
you need.
is the place where all the action is.
What you need.
Yeah, we want to support
Further,
you.
we want to support
That's
you.
phenomenal. I think
Because unless you have that risk-taking capability, and never give up. I didn't give up.
Correct.
So they said, I will not give you people. I said, don't give me people. I'm one enough. I outsourced this activity. I said, I will outsource it. I will get people on board. They will do everything for me.
Lovely.
Because at the end of the day, it's just that that initiative has to work.
Lovely.
Whether I work, Sujit works, it has to be in the market.
Yeah. The right thing has to be in the market, which is taking care of everyone's interest. Lovely. Meenakshi, your journey, you gave me a brief before we formally started this recording this conversation. I mean, I was always thinking, we probably just covered the first part of the question that I sent you, ki aapka journey batao. There is so much to know about you. But I think one fundamental thing which personally I want to know for myself, and I'm sure many people would be thinking about this, is there are very few women in the industry. Is it there are no opportunities? That cannot be the case, because you are a living example of of doing so well in this industry. So I want to know your perspective in terms of why are women not very successful, or why there are not many women in this industry.
First of all, Sujit, I am a firm believer that success cannot be gender biased.
True.
Okay? If you can be successful, I can equally be. If I'm competent, I deserve that success. Now coming to your question of why there are not so many women in this print industry, there are women in all sectors, all segments. You can see that
Banking, IT,
everywhere. In fact, with this diversity theme coming in, so people want more and more on the leadership roles.
Right.
Why not print industry?
Right.
Couple of things which are very candid, and I would like to be more open about it.
Please.
One, printing industry in India, it is still entrepreneur driven.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more. So there is no. I'm not saying that professionals are not. Entrepreneurs are not professionals. Yes, they are. But it's when I see at the entrepreneur workforce, it's more male dominated. There are no working hours or whatever. So, and people, ladies don't feel comfortable in those organizations, is one of the probably reasons. But what is more critical, coming to the professional front, is that one, ladies always feel, when I personally joined print industry, when I was going to Times of India every now and then, so one is that I had to deal with workers and the managers who were 25-year-old managers, and they would never leave the port. So when I think, where do I go after 5 years? Because they're not going to leave. Am I going to grow in this organization? The first bigger question as a lady. Second is that ladies generally, I'm not saying in print or outside, they feel less confident to ask for help. Okay?
Can you go deeper?
I would like to go deeper. Like for an example, when I was working in Times of India, so I came out from college. It's actually a great story to relate here. So my manager, the production manager, took me to the scanner room. He said, "Ye transparency, you remember transparencies used to come. So transparency scan karo." I am coming out of the college, and that to PVG's college, where we had not scanner. We learned there is something monster called a scanner. I said, "Oh, this is a scanner." I'm very good. So what do I do with this? So he thought I know about it, because normally when trainee joins in, they were mostly coming in from the diploma institutes, where they were going to all the sites and they were doing a lot of, I would say, on-site training. So I never knew what is scanner. So since I was new, but I had a pause. I took a deep breath. I said, Meenakshi, let me be candid to people that I don't know something. You teach me. I can assure them that I am a great learner. I'm a keen learner. So I went to him. I said, Mr. Das, You gave me this transparency, but I don't know what is to be done. So can you teach me? Oh, you don't know. He started. I said, no, I don't know. Okay, that's why I'm asking you to teach me. So, but I didn't expect you to not to know. I said, it's fine, but you give me some time. How much time? I said, 3 days. I will start scanning. And Sujit, in 5 years of my journey with Times of India, I was a specialist in all departments. All departments.
Nice.
So, and what I was telling you, Sujit, that why ladies are required in color, in print.
Yes.
There's a science behind it. It's not that it's just I'm talking, you can go and browse. Ladies are considered to be a great interpreters for and understanding the color well. So their color blindness as per research is very less. So they have an edge in the pre-press. They have an edge in the printing field. The way I used to see color on a production, none of my guys could see that.
Wow, this is
So
intriguing.
it's just that women have their own inherent strengths,
which is not being used
which
by
is
the
not
industry.
not being used by the industry. Second,
And in an industry where color is the most
color is
critical.
the most important critical. Second, Sujit, let's not mince that ladies have a capability to open doors. Whether you like it or not like it, but yes. One, maybe people like to delight women. They want to listen to them. If you have a knowledge, if you can bring something to the table, not just because I'm a lady, because if you can bring something on the table.
Correct.
My biggest
The attention span might go higher.
Absolutely. The reason of my success in Xerox was not that I'm a lady. Was that I could relate something and I could bring something on the table.
Correct.
But yes, where does a woman have an edge?
But you have an edge.
I have an edge. It's because I got an entry. I got an appointment. Which men would take maybe, I'm not saying that you would not get an appointment, but maybe 3 calls, 4 calls. So I am shortening the sales cycle. The woman helps to shorten the sales cycle.
Oh, lovely. I mean, this is amazing insight for so many people.
So that's what
And in fact, for the
For
young
the ladies,
women
for the
themselves,
women,
that they can have an
absolutely.
edge with diversity so much being spoken
Absolutely.
about. There is so much of opportunities for women to come and join the industry.
Trust me, Sujit, none of the printing companies, the professional, the established,
The big ones.
organized ones, have leaders on the women leaders.
है ही नहीं।
है ही नहीं।
है ही नहीं,
Women
हायर
ही
कहाँ
नहीं
से
है।
लाए?
मतलब लीडर तो बाद में वुमन ही नहीं है,
Woman ही
ढूंढने
नहीं
को
है।
भी नहीं मिलेगी आपको
ढूंढने को भी नहीं
वुमन who understands this from the domain.
Correct.
So there are people who are joining print industry or organizations to sell, but not
But
a
far and
domain.
few.
Not from the domain.
Not domain experts.
Not domain experts.
But we have so many engineering diploma colleges,
Absolutely.
packaging institutes. I'm sure there could be so many people, young.
So where do they join? Quality departments, which is a back end. So if you want to grow, Sujit, so the biggest thing what a woman always feels, I don't have a growth in print industry, which is right, which is not right. Because one, you have not worked for that growth. You don't work, Sujit. Do you get anything? So does a man get?
No,
I don't think so.
No. Without hard work, nothing is
Without
possible.
hard work, nobody gets anything. Okay?
And for that, you have to be in the front end.
You have to be in the front end. So if you are always in the quality, who does see the quality people? What does he do? In my current organization, my quality is a great guy. He's a god of quality. He does everything for me. But everybody feels that I bring quality to the table. I bring quality to the market. Because I'm the face.
Yeah, you're the face.
So trust
get
me,
the credit.
like you will laugh on this. When a customer has a complaint, he will only call me because he feels that I understand quality, I understand people, I understand cup, I understand raw material, I understand coating, I understand business. I said, boss, you just write it to me. I will get it done from somebody. Oh, I thought you take care of that. I said, it's good to know, but I'm not an expert. So
and it's so
and admit
much okay to
it's
admit.
okay.
Yeah.
I can't do everything.
Yes.
I'm not supposed to be doing everything. Like people tell me, you understand this? I said, no, I don't need to understand. My role is different. I'm supposed to be making strategies. So I will do my job. If I do everybody's job, then everybody will be jobless. I don't want people to be jobless.
True.
Let me focus on what I bring to table. What is my strength?
Right.
My strength is building strategies. My strength is making it happen. My strength is mentoring people.
Yes, Sure. Lovely. And any more insights for the youngsters, especially women? Like you said, great point in terms of they have an eye for color, which we can see from their dressing sense.
Absolutely.
You know, the colors that women bring with a sheer dressing sense is so beautiful. You know, आदमी लोगों का dull, drab, boring होता है, whereas women, you know, dress so well
There's a
because
science, there's a study on this. There's a study
I
on
never
this.
knew about it. And second is they have an edge over men because there might be 50 men in that industry, but there might be very few men. You automatically get an edge
You get
because
an edge.
you want to be polite. Let's be honest, like you rightly said, you know, people would be generally more polite to a
Absolutely. Yes.
lady. Yeah. And any other insights there?
Third thing is, I think what we build to the organization is difference of opinion. When you have 10 men, so you look at things differently than a woman. That's why diversity is becoming more important.
More important, yeah.
Because the perspective that I build to the table is very different, because when it is a man oriented, and especially you have an edge in printing industry, that's what I keep on telling to every woman who tries to speak to me, is that you have an edge. Because while you have 10 people, 10 men on the table, and when one lady building it up with a different perspective, it brings a lot of sense.
Lovely, lovely. And I think one more point that you said is you are like bringing in that that edge of where there has to be, you know, diversity, and there has to be women into the job, and who can, you know, give and contribute.
Women by studies also, like there are a lot of researches which
But
are
for
going
all
on.
of this, you will have to come to the front end. You can't be at the back end.
You have to. And fourth point, which is absolutely, I think, personal to women, is women think that, of course, I had two kids. When you take a break, though I did not take a break, so there is no comeback. Which is, I think, which is not the right point to really ponder on, because if you have something, people really want you in the market.
Sure.
Brands want you, organizations want you. So that's why I always strive that we as a woman, because we have a lot of hats to build on. So sometimes you're a mother, sometimes you're a daughter-in-law, sometimes you're a daughter, sometimes you have, I'm not saying you don't have responsibilities, but I think
women can do it so much better. They are so much more capable. Multitasking.
Okay, so when you are a multitasking lady, so what women always do is, I'm talking about myself, let me not talk about general, I'm not making a generic statement. When I knew that, my first child is coming up, and so I was trying to work really lots, because I wanted to have that mark that I did it. So that when I have a comeback, people ask for me, that she knows this business, she understands it. So that's what we actually, why I enforce that, please do something, take a risk. If it is a risk which is worthwhile, there's no harm. What will happen? You will fail or you will succeed. But
I think the biggest risk is not taking risk.
Not taking risk. So if you don't take risk, if you are always in a comfort zone, then you are not going to grow. You look at anybody in the leadership role, you talk to any CEOs of bigger organizations, how
male or female,
male or female,
irrespective.
If you have done it yourself.
Sure.
If you know what can go wrong.
Sure, I agree.
I always reinforce on the point, like somebody tells me, okay, we'll do this. I said, what can go wrong? I never ask how can we succeed, what can go wrong? Because I built up myself, this will go wrong, let me have a backup.
And I think women have that inherent strength to think in that way.
Absolutely.
वो ये होता है ना कि घर पे ये बनना है, अगर वो नहीं हो तो क्या होगा? So there is always that planning.
So my question always starts, do we have backup? So whenever they come, so I said, do we have a backup? We have committed to the customer, do we have a backup?
Nice.
So my thought is always that I have to create a backup.
Great inputs. Now one thing, let's also face it, that there is harassment for women. So what are your thoughts around it? And I'm sure you are at a senior position, so you might be coming across these.
Harassment for women. I was explaining to you that I was holding a position of chairperson for Posh in Huhtamaki. So I was a chairperson for 3 consecutive years. I handled 3 cases while I was a chairperson. So difficult to say, but I would also say this, that if your intent is right as a lady, nobody can do anything, any harm to you. Personally, Sujita, when I was an upcoming professional in the industry,
growing in this.
So it's how you take it. Do you think that when I was with the print industry, so every printer can vouch for it, I used to be with customers in discussions, negotiations, because when you're doing a long, bigger deals, you need to sit with customers. So 12 o'clock midnight, 1 o'clock midnight. But I never felt, I never took it as a harassment, to be very frank with you, because my only agenda was
to get the work done.
Get the deal. With the right intent.
Yes.
Okay, so it's how you perceive. So if you think that this some people use it as a shortcut to grow, but shortcuts are never appreciated. And now women should be more comfortable, because now posh is really
mandatory.
It's mandatory. Now on a lighter side, people in our organization are more scared. That they should
even
really,
men are equally scared at this point,
Absolutely.
because they don't want the reputation.
they don't want the reputation, because at the end of the day, it's a credibility.
You won't get a job after
You
that.
won't get a job. And if you are thrown out of the organization because of posh, you have a black hole in your career.
Correct, I agree.
So I think women should just be open.
I think it's a time for women. We just
It's
have
a
to
time
come
for
out
women,
and
yes.
just
With digitization, with everything. Now people ask about work-life balance. I am allowed to work out of home. I decide my own timings to work.
Lovely.
Like we had a meeting today, so after I finished my all office work, I decided to have this meeting at this moment of time.
No.
So
And people are flexible. You just have to ask. You just have to tell.
Absolutely.
Right.
What we also shy as a woman. Okay, one is that we are not happy about somebody appreciating our work. अरे कुछ उसने गलत तो नहीं समझा. Okay, it's fine. I think we deserve it.
But
we deserve a pat on the back.
Though I laughed it away, but I can understand what you're saying, and I feel for those women when they think like that. But we have Meenakshi in full life sitting here, a true embodiment of someone who's lived a successful working career in the print industry.
So again something which is really personal to me. So when somebody appreciates me in the forum or somebody, so my colleagues, तुमको बहुत appreciate किया तुम, मैं बोला फर्क क्या पड़ता तुमको? So if somebody is appreciating me, be happy about it. No,
take it in the right
take it in the right spirit.
Yeah.
So why do you think that somebody thinks something different? So I am not thinking even in those directions.
Yeah.
So maybe my work is incredible. That's why. So I'm taking in the right stride. So let people live with it.
Yeah. I think we need to be more open.
I think that's what we need.
We are being praised.
So let's be open about it. Doesn't men need a pat on the back?
True.
Sujit?
True. Appreciation
if
is needed.
You are like, you have people working with you, so if you don't tell them you did a good job, and do you think they are motivated enough?
Yeah,
I tell this to everybody in my plant. So whenever they do a good job, I appreciate even single person. And the biggest thing which I want to bring forth here on this conversation of ours is that I appreciate a leadership style where it's more open. So I've told my people clearly, if you have done a goof up, I should be the first person to know about it. Okay, one is that I will understand how to work around it, handle situation. So people in my the culture is that let's go to her. Let's go to her. So she understands, and they tell me, it's a compliment always to me that जैसे आप handle करते हो, nobody can.
So nice.
So that's what I tell, because and I appreciate when they tell me about the problem, and sometimes it's a bigger problem.
True.
So I said, I appreciate. Don't worry.
We'll
I will not let anybody even touch you. But then something has to be done, so you work on yourself. So then I give a lot of gyan, I would say, but then it helps.
True.
So because you have to build up the organization with right people.
True. Great input, Meenakshi. I was just thinking, and we have crossed a little over an hour.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want to kind of hold you, and you
Thank
gave
you
your
very
precious
much.
time. So just a few questions before we close this conversation. I think we can have probably another second and third part later to get into
Yes.
deeper. I think we're still at the surface of Meenakshi's journey. So towards the last two questions which we generally ask all our guests is one is I've known you.
Yeah.
And I had this inkling to call Meenakshi at some point in time. Madhura ma'am spoke about you, and that triggered. So this is how we thought of having you as our guest. So you have any names in your mind who could be a good guest for us, whose journey we could share with our viewers?
Yeah, sure. What is coming top of my mind, since I've been always with people who innovate. I like innovators in business. So Mr. Prasad Chitnis is one of the
Mr. Prasad Chitnis.
Okay. He's a great colleague. I have worked while I was working with Xerox with Manoj Bhai. So the thought process of doing something different, building up the print industry. So he's associated with most of the entrepreneurs, celebrities.
Oh, lovely.
To design
so
the
he's
packaging.
Running his own business?
Yeah.
Oh, under the name?
I am not able to
Okay.
recall.
I'll
but
take his
I
details from
can,
you.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Anyone else that is in your mind?
You have met up with Ajay Ravane?
No, not yet. I've told Ajay.
So,
I've told Ajay. So
He's a wonderful guy.
Yeah. So
What he can build, get to the table, I think.
I've told Ajay.
Few
we'll
people can talk about the journey.
We'll have Ajay some point in time.
He's
surely.
a great man. He's a great person.
Great. I will surely have him.
Yeah.
And the last question is in terms of in this podcast, it's a very new thing, especially in India, and I think globally also not many people do this podcast, especially about the journey of a person, of how they have had an impact and the learnings that they have had in the print industry. So what's your initial thoughts, and after doing this podcast with us, what do you think? How is it, and how can it help the people in this industry?
To be very upfront and candid, Sujit, I was observing these podcasts for a while now, so learning, because unfortunately in print industry, which I always tell people is that we don't know how to sell ourselves, and we feel shy about selling ourselves.
True.
Question is not we want to sell ourselves. Question is that are we giving back to the industry what we learned in these 25 years?
Correct.
Because I might have a lot of stories, lot of insights of how I overcome the challenge.
Correct.
So should we help the industry?
Correct.
Should we help the upcoming breed that they don't fall in those traps?
Correct.
And this is the right platform for people to know that somebody had similar kind of experiences. Like you asked me a wonderful question, were you harassed? Yes, I was. Okay, so I'm not being shy about it. Yes. But people feel shy. Kya bolu? What will people perceive? That's fine. How do you want to perceive? I'm okay with it. But a lady, if I can inspire even 100 out of one lady, I think I did my job.
Yeah. That's so. I think you put it so very well. The whole idea of having this podcast was you get people's story. Like आपने जो achieve किया अपने journey में. I'm sure there might be so many people, so many ladies, so many young men, not only women, even young men who want to kind of grow in their career. कितने जन grow हुए हैं, in terms of profession. We can count them on our fingers. We've seen them in the last 10, 20 years. बहुत सारे जन नहीं हैं. I mean, who've kind of really done it really great for themselves in their career. तो ये जो learnings है youngsters जब सीखें, अच्छा ऐसा होता है, work commitment ये होना चाहिए. ये नहीं सोचे कि हम quality में बैठ जाएं आराम से हम लोग grow हो जाएंगे. अरे you cannot. You have to come to the forefront. You have to do your job. You have to ask for work. You have to do that extra.
One thing which I would like to add, Sujit, here, and it's truly inspirational for all the women. I forgot to mention that I did my MBA in marketing when I was pregnant with second child.
Okay.
In fact, I realized it when I joined the course. So most of the people told me you leave the course now because you are not keeping well. I was not keeping well on the health side also. But I never gave up. I said, no, I will do this course also. When it was my first year exams, I was so I delivered my baby. She was a premature baby. So in 30 days, I had my first paper and viva, and I was actually feeding my child. So I'll tell you, this is more for women, not for men. I got my mother. I said, "Mummy, can you come with me in my car? You be outside the college. I will come after every hour to feed her during exams." So I used to write my exams after every...
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So my mother used to take care of my daughter. She was just 1 month old.
Oh.
And I used to come every 15 minutes after every hour. So 3 hours paper में मैं 2 बार बाहर आती थी उसको feed करने के लिए.
Oh.
So why I want to tell you this?
I don't have words. Yeah.
Why I want to tell you this? People shy. People feel कि बच्चा हो गया, so हो गया. So which is fine. We are blessed as women. We are blessed.
You can reproduce.
We can reproduce.
Men can't.
Men can't. And if you think that is a barrier, it's not a barrier. Okay, people understand.
Barrier.
When I was coming out of the examination hall, where are you going? I said, I have a baby to take care. I want to feed her. So when you tell these stories on a podcast, बहुत बार ऐसा लगता है कि ये नहीं हो सकता है.
Correct.
I'm telling you, ये हो सकता है.
हाँ, बिल्कुल.
हो सकता है, आप फील कर सकते हो बेबी को. मैंने किया है. आप अगर बोल के जाओ सुजीत को I have a baby, you think you don't feel about it?
And he will agree.
He will agree.
Yeah.
But then you got to be right.
You have to say.
You have to say.
Yeah.
Okay, I lost my some time of giving exams, but it is fine. I never wanted to have excellent results. I wanted to pass.
You have to have balance that we were talking about.
It's balance. I'm talking about balance. I never wanted to be first class. I said I just want to pass.
Yeah, interesting. Thanks for sharing. I mean, I'm sure it's very personal, and you sharing, and it will be motivational and inspiring to many ladies out there. Great, Meenakshi. Thanks for your time. I really appreciate.
Thank you very much, Sujit, for getting us here.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.